Hey guys, and welcome to episode 48 of How I Made My First $1 Million. Today we are looking at the numbers from September 1st, 2024, so let's dive in. Starting with the balance sheet, as usual, assets coming in just shy of $78,000, up $600 from last month. Amazing, humongous. But more importantly, liabilities are down $4,100 to $15,700. I'll take a look at those in a second. So net worth coming in at $62,200, up $4,700 from last month. So okay, $60,000, man, that feels so low. It feels so low to me, but whatever. We're chipping away. We're making progress. What happened with the liabilities? Well, student loans went down. Those are the only liabilities I have left. I made a payment of $4,100 on my federal student loans. So chipping away at those, there's only about $4,200 left on those, so I should have them paid off next month. And then the remainder, whatever that is, $11,500-ish. That's the private student loan, so I'll comment on that in a second. I'm trying to negotiate that. That's where we're at. So net worth went up $4,700, not too bad. Let us take a look at the chart here. Another data point, 62.2. Yeah. Okay. So, real slow progress, but steady. Slow, but steady. 62.2. When's the last time we were that high? Okay, we were 64 in June of 2022. So, yeah, more than 2 years ago. So, we're climbing back, man. These days were good days. But anyways, we're getting there. Let's keep rolling. Income statement. All right, what happened here? Well, revenues went up a lot. So over $13,000 in revenue, which is more than $5,000 from last month. And what happened? Well, wages and salary. So it's a combination of two things. One is, as a consultant, there were simply more work days in the month of August than there were in July. So that went up by a little bit, maybe $1,000 or something. I would have to look. But then the difference there, like an extra $4,000 or so, is actually the fact that I converted to a W-2 employee and got my first paycheck. So that was, $3,000 something, shy of $4,000. So I'll be getting 2 of those paychecks every month, and one of them hit in the month of August. So moving forward, I should have a pretty steady and predictable monthly salary. Should be the same every month. So there's something nice about that. I guess I'm looking forward to that for sure. Although there is a quote by Nassim Nicholas Taleb. He said the 3 most harmful addictions are heroin, carbohydrates, and a monthly salary. Food for thought. Anyways, so that's been in my mind for years, and I have shirked the idea of a monthly salary, but whatever. I'm inviting it back in. So that's where we're at on revenues. Expenses, pretty big expenses, spent over $11,000. That's up over $1,000 from last month. And where did it all go? Food and beverage is down. So I'm back in Florida, if you can't tell. And being home, you it's just a little bit cheaper to eat. You have a better grocery situation. Travel and adventure. Okay, so that's pretty much the bulk of the difference right there. No, actually it's here. Investments. So a little bit less on travel and adventure. As I mentioned, I'm back home. And I spent $2,100 buying Bitcoin. Bitcoin was cheap. It dropped throughout the month, and I said, yeah, I got to buy. It's just on sale. It's so cheap right now. So I put $2,100 in. And if you don't know about the number 21 and Bitcoin, you got to learn about it. It's all over. So anyways, so I bought Bitcoin for the first time in a long time. A long time. So anyways, that felt good. Hopefully a lot more asset purchases coming up. Statement of cash flows. Let's see. Operating cash flows up significantly more, basically because of those paychecks. Yes, mostly due to the paychecks, and expenses, purchases, cash outlays went down ever so slightly. Investing, see, there was no change last month, but the month prior, but then this past month, $2,100 on Bitcoin. And financing is about the same in both cases. Paying off debts, $4,000 and then $4,100. You might wonder, why did I pick 4,100 instead of $4,000 again? Partly I wanted to pick a different number. That way it would be recognizable to my eye, which is kind of funny. But like if I see 4 and 40, like 40 and 41, I know that those are sequential and they're two separate months, and I can remember those are months 1 and 2. Whereas if I see 4,000 and 4,000, I might wonder, like, how many months did I do that, or which month was the first month, or something like that. So those numbers will just jump out at me. Plus there's the added bonus of the final month being, roughly 4,200. So as I was looking at the whole chunk, I asked myself, how can I split this into 3 pieces that are that are like sequential and slightly linear upwards in a way that I can remember it. If I ever have to look back at these monthly statements years from now, it will immediately trigger. It was step 1 out of 3, 2 out of 3, 3 out of 3. I'll just remember it a lot easier. So it's kind of weird, but that's just how I decided to do that. So I'm expecting next month to be about 4,200, whatever it is with the daily interest and all that. So anyways, yeah, that is the statement of cash flows. So not too much going on, but a positive cash inflow, which is very nice. A positive cash operating inflow, which is nice. And I would expect that, well, certainly investing should be like a negative number. I would think most months for the foreseeable future, because the type of investing, quote unquote, that I'm doing doesn't pay interest or dividends or anything like that. Like gold, silver, Bitcoin, they don't throw off any yield. So I would expect that the net cash flow from investing should be a negative flow every month for a while, maybe a few years, until I switch those types of investments to ones that pay dividend yield, coupon payments, whatever it is. So that's a guess. So I'm expecting that to be negative. I don't have a problem with that being negative. And then financing, paying off loans, obviously it's going to be negative because of that. I'll probably continue making donations, and I'm not really sure if I'm going to be net lending or net canceling my lending, but time will tell. So maybe this will stay negative for a while. These two at the bottom will be negative. But if there's a large enough positive operating cash flow to support the other two, then that's exactly how it should be. Beautiful. Let's do the updates. So I decided this month I'm not going to read all the updates. I'm going to just hit the ones at the top and then the top 3. And if you want, you guys can pause and read the other ones. But I mean, I find it super boring for me to go through. I can only imagine how boring it is for you guys. So anyways, I'm still relenting on Kiva. You guys know that. I'm back in Florida until probably next summer. You can tell by the background. And with regard to the private student loans, just a reminder from last month, I had offered them $1,500, or I guess 2 months ago, I had offered them $1,500, which was 12.6% as a settlement offer, and they came back with 40%. So that's kind of where I left it. I mentioned that in the last video, and I wasn't really sure how to proceed. So I let a few weeks go by, and I thought, all right, what am I going to offer them basically as just a second offer or maybe a counter offer? And I settled on 27%, thinking that, that's a pretty big increase. That's like doubling from the bottom. Maybe they'll come back with 30 and then I'll just say, okay, but they didn't. They asked for 38.7%, which is kind of weird, which is a total of $4,613. And I agreed to that. So I haven't paid it, but the payment's due within 30 days. So that's the private student loans. So I'm going to pay that $4,600 next month. So maybe that $4,200 to settle the federal student loans will have to wait until the following month. So after those 2 payments, I'll be debt free, which is so crazy, but I'm very excited about that. Wow. So 2 months. So probably this particular payment here, $4,600 in September, and then probably $4,200 plus or minus in October. Wow. Then I've got 2 months just as a backup in case something crazy happens. Amazing. Relationship with body, a little bit of plantar fasciitis. Who knows what that's caused by? I mean, just, I guess, repetitive strain on the foot. That's what it's caused by. But yeah, so I'm just dealing with that. It's annoying. It's the first time in my life I've ever had it. And it's very annoying. It's just like constantly tense, the bottom of my foot, like all day long. And it's very hard to like relax those muscles. So I've been rolling it on a tennis ball, icing it, resting it. it's just annoying, but whatever, it'll go away. What else? Relationship with self. Okay. I'm creating a 6-part YouTube series for work. So I'm very excited about this. Basically until now, it's been like almost a year, I guess like 10, 11 months almost. Basically every video has been a one-off video where it's just make a video on a topic, release it, and then it really has no connection to the other videos. And that's not that fun to me. I'd much rather build a series like the one I'm currently building that's 6 episodes, say, and they build off of each other. That's way more fun. It allows me to do way more research, really dive into a particular topic, and in my mind, treat it with the depth and nuance that it deserves, and then build it out, and then, release, let's say, 1 video a week for 6 weeks. And yeah, then it's a series. It's sort of a more meaningful body of work. So I'm really happy about that. It's the first one I've ever built. A lot of work is going into it. I've been working on it for 2 weeks already, which to me doesn't feel like it's been very long at all, but I've gotten a lot done. So anyways, I expect it'll be a lot more weeks, and I'm going to involve other people, animators and editors and so forth at work. So that's pretty awesome. So how am I feeling? Well, I'm feeling lighter as my debt approaches 0. I'm so excited. Like when I go over my numbers, like on the first of the month, or when I make a debt payment, I just feel lighter, like throughout the day or for several days. I just feel it's just so much lighter. It's really cool. And I think everyone should feel that way. It blows my mind that everybody, most people are in debt. It's a very bizarre social phenomenon, and it would be nice to live in a society where we didn't so readily encourage each other to go into debt for student loans, for anything, to borrow, for a car, a house, anything. So I'd like to live in a world where we don't encourage each other to go into debt. It's just not good. It really changes who you are for the worse. So anyways, I'm feeling lighter. I wish everyone could experience that. It's good. I'm also feeling excited to be working on an educational money-related YouTube series. So I just talked about that, the 6-part series. I'm very excited to do that. And a little bit I'm feeling discouraged by poor foot and knee health. So I mentioned my foot a second ago, but I didn't mention my knee. Many, many years ago, I tore my meniscus, and I think I re-aggravated it a few days ago. So now I'm like resting my knee and my foot. And it's frustrating to not be able to like run and jump and like just bounce around. That's frustrating. So whatever, it's a bummer. You just do your best and heal, and then it goes away and life goes on. So anyways, that is all I got for the updates. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next month.